So where are you currently finding opportunities at the moment, Charlie?
Yeah, for the Northern funds at Mercia, we're a regional investor. So we're kind of proud of being in the regions. We've got offices in Newcastle, Leeds, Manchester, Birmingham. And
I think you're fitting in with Boris Johnson's plan now.
We do.
We're
on message, yes. And I'll give you an example. We've invested in a software company in East Kilbride, just outside Glasgow. It's a health and safety software company. So a company that helps bigger companies meet their health and safety obligations. We've invested with 50 people in the company. They should be going through 100 people this year and 150 people next year as the company expands. And what's really exciting there is, we're expanding into the US. That we really believe we can kind of take a European health and safety culture into the US where it's kind of seems to be needed, and fuel our growth and returns for investors for that.
Excellent. So, Paul, where are you finding opportunities now?
Well, I think one of the great things about the VCT and EIS schemes is that they really do encourage entrepreneurialism right around the UK. And I mean, it might be worth just mentioning a couple of recent examples of investments we made in Northern Ireland, which doesn't often get much of a mention in these kind of conversations. And clearly we have plenty of businesses from London, Cambridge, Oxford. There's an explosion of new businesses in those areas. But a couple of examples from Northern Ireland, which I've been really struck by. One called Fusion Antibodies, which is one of the world's leading antibody humanization companies, where they take antibodies that were developed from animal models, and they turn those antibodies into human antibodies that will be accepted into the human body properly, not rejected. And from that position, they've then developed several other later generations of technology, which have begun to put them in a very interesting competitive position. And clearly that's a global market. Their customers are big pharmaceutical companies that could buy services from anywhere in the world. And they happen to have developed this world-leading capability in Northern Ireland. Another one from the same city, again, a recent investment, a company called Diaceutics, recently floated on AIM. And this is a company that's assembled what they call a global data lake of laboratory testing facilities around the world, 2,500 laboratories around the world they monitor, they buy the data from, so that there's a rising trend amongst new drugs that are being developed to have companion diagnostics. So they're targeted at very specific groups of patients, and before the patients are given the drugs, they're given diagnostic tests. And this two-step process actually can cause a lot of problems, because it's very easy to build this, and you assume the test is always done, but in reality it's not always done. And so Diaceutics steps in as a consultancy firm to address and make work these kind of propositions in the market, and they'll talk to the labs and say, actually, are you really doing this test? Or if you're not, why are you not doing it? And they can fix those problems and therefore massively enhance the sales of these new drugs that are being developed. It's become also a very successful business, and both these things are very pleasing to see. We don't choose where we get the investments from. We love opportunities from any part of the UK.
Yes, well, I have to say, I think we are on message with Boris Johnson, scaling up here in the UK, Northern Ireland, Scotland. I think VCTs are definitely doing the job here for him in terms of bringing money to the regions. And Will, where are you finding opportunities?
So we are particularly interested at the moment in healthcare, but sort of software more broadly. So that might be in the world of healthcare. So we call it digital health. That's really making healthcare more efficient. But more broadly, B2B software, and the sorts of themes that we see as important are digital security, data analytics, but also automation. And I think that's where software can make a real difference. It can change the whole way the world operates, the whole way we do things. So a good example would be a business called Speechmatics that we've just invested in. This is a business that absolutely leads the world in speech recognition and transcription. So effectively, it turns speech into text. So when we invested, that had done some 29 languages, and it can effectively learn a language in a matter of weeks. And we've invested so that they can increase the number of languages, so they can improve the efficiency of recognition, making it highly accurate. And then that can be used in a whole range of applications, whether that's in a call center to provide the ability to search what was previously speech. But really interestingly, as we move into a world of devices, Internet of Things, it allows on-device speech recognition, which means that when you can talk to not only can you talk to your device, it can understand it. Massive growth area.